Hey, Chris Wheatley here from Hot Tub University, and today we're going to have a chat about saltwater hot tubs. This technology was around, gosh, it's got to be 25 years ago when it came out, maybe even earlier than that. I remember it from, way back. It seems like the 80s, but who knows? I'm getting so old I can't remember what day it is anymore. Long and short of it is, back in the day, this was decent technology. We got to go from 3 to 5 parts per million of chlorine or bromine, and we, with a salt generator, got to take that down to about, 3, an average of 2, maybe 2 parts per million. So, that was a big drop. When that technology came out, it was reasonable tech, but there was a lot of misconceptions and a lot of nonsense around it. So the first thing the marketing guys did was they said, hey, we're not adding chlorine or bromine into the tub. We can say, we're not adding chemicals into the tub. This tub doesn't need any chemicals added to it. What they never told you was all they were doing is they were taking sodium chloride or sodium bromide. Now, first of all, let's talk about these two salts, because these are, everyone goes, oh, this is natural chlorine. Okay, guys, talk to a chemist. Chlorine is chlorine. Talk to a doctor. Inhalation of chlorine, whether it's made by a salt generator or whether it's, it comes out of a bottle, it's still going to kill you. It's still carcinogenic. It's still going to get into your lungs and the steam that you're inhaling from that hot tub. So forget this idea of this is a natural chlorine. I think botulism is natural too, but I'm not putting that in my body. So sodium chloride, sodium bromide, highly corrosive salts. And one of the big problems in the early systems was it was destroying the hot tubs. Now, they've adapted the hot tubs to be able to take the high corrosion level, but it doesn't change the fact that everything, all the water in there that splashes out of the tub, so the oversplash that gets on your decking, that gets on your concrete, that gets everywhere around your hot tub, is going to destroy everything around it. Now, the second thing was, you don't have to add chemicals into your tub, but all these systems do is convert sodium chloride or sodium bromide into chlorine or bromine. So again, there's no real big special stuff here. It made it a little bit easier because you didn't actually have to dump the chlorine or the bromine in. I don't know if that's a huge advantage or not. But that's all it does. It only makes chlorine or bromine. Now, there's new ones out there now, and they're going, automatic hot tubs, automatic hot tubs. And guys, this is the same bullshit that they're trying to feed you with a new label. It'll tell you what your pH reading is, so you never have to do anything to your hot tub. It's ridiculous. You still have to balance your pH. You still have to use the dip strip to test the alkalinity. And that little boost button, if you need more, sanitation in your tub, just push boost. Well, guess what that does? Makes more chlorine. So, this is crazy, because what we should be doing is using super low levels of chlorine and then using a non-chlorine shock. Marketing, bad tech. Anybody selling this stuff to you is not selling it to you because it's good innovation. They're selling it to you because they're making money on it. And, frankly, in this world of marketing and spin and bullshit, sometimes that's more important than whether it's a good product. So the other reason I'm not a big fan of it, and it's all of a sudden it's resurging now because everyone went away from this technology 10, 15 years ago. High failure rates, there were loads of problems. You got to replace that anode at a couple $100, and sometimes that's yearly depending on the tub. Hard to balance because, man, you've added something else you need to balance in now. And you read up on how you balance the salt, it's insane. You put the salt in, you wait 20 minutes or something, balance it again, wait 20 minutes, and it's a nightmare. And so you've got another thing, you still have to balance alkalinity and pH. And by the way, there's nothing in a saltwater system that's going to help stabilize pH. So forget that one as well. So you've got to balance the alkalinity, got to balance pH, and even if it's got an automatic sensor on it that says it's going to tell you what the pH is, throw that out the window, guys, because you can't electrically test for alkalinity, and that's critical to keeping balance of pH proper. So no matter what anybody says, you got to take a test strip every week and test that water anyway. So if it's got a test feature, it's a gimmick. It's a waste of time. And if it's got a boost button that shocks your tub, quote, quote, it's shocking it with carcinogenic chlorine. It's the whole point of the system was to reduce the amount of chlorine. That boost button just boosts the amount of chlorine or bromine. And by the way, they're the same. They're both toxic. They're both killing you. They're both getting into your lungs. Start reading up on the U.S. health reports about inhalation of chlorine and bromine. They'll scare the shit out of you. And you will absolutely want to get to the lowest levels. The other reason I don't like salt systems, it's outdated technology. Guys, there is better stuff for a lot less money. Enzyme systems. And very particular because, man, half the enzyme systems I've tried are junk. And the problem is, not junk, but not very effective. And the problem with these enzyme systems is it's really difficult to get the right mix of enzymes because you want enzymes that are targeting specific things in your water. Oils, fats, things that chlorines and bromines have a hard time breaking down. So what an enzyme basically is a catalyst that starts breaking down these so that they can be processed very quickly and easily with low levels of chlorine or bromine. So Spa Marvel, man, a big one that I'm a super big fan of. I've been using it for years now. I'm converted because I was against Enzyme for a long time, and I was against it because the tech wasn't really that refined. It wasn't really that good. It is now, and Spa Marvel has it nailed. They have a great system out there, and it's going to cost you $55 every 3 months. The added advantage is the Enzyme systems are going to help stabilize your pH. I find with my hot tubs running Spa Marvel or the mineral salt system, which is Aqua Finesse that I use, all I do with that tub every week is add a cap of alkalinity increaser. My pH stays dead stable, my alkalinity stays there, and I run those tubs at about a half a part per million on both of those systems. And I know I'm not recommending you do that because the health and welfare and the government says, no, minimum 3 parts or whatever it is in your area. And that's what I recommend. Whatever the government says, that's what I recommend. However, I tend to find that the government information lags the real world by a considerable amount, especially when it comes to technology. So again, we are running these systems at half a part per million of chlorine and bromine. We are getting 9 months to a year out of a batch of water, and it's safe, man. I'm doing bacteria tests on them regularly. I'm not having issues. And these aren't tubs that are sitting there. These are tubs that are used a lot. In fact, they're in my retail center. So I got customers trying them out all the time. And I need perfect water in a retail center because, obviously you're not going to sell tubs if your water doesn't look great. I also get in those tubs every morning because my retail center is in my backyard. So when I get up in the morning, I go and I climb in one of those display tubs and I soak my old 50-year-old body so I can get functioning through the day again. So saltwater hot tubs, in my opinion, guys, they are a waste of money, a waste of time, and a gimmick. And I don't care if they're using diamonds or whether they're using, automatic systems. It doesn't really matter. They are just old tech. They are still high chemical. And remember, in a pool is one thing, man. If it's just on your dermal layer, that's not so bad because your dermal layer can take these higher levels of chemicals. But in a hot tub, where the steam is coming up and you're breathing that steam in, you are putting that stuff right into your lungs. Lungs are great at one thing, absorbing stuff into the body system. So, man, inhalation of chlorine and bromine, super bad, super bad, super bad. And that's why I really don't recommend buying any of the magic stuff that hot tub companies are trying to sell you. Stay away from it. I got a link on my site now. We're able to sell you Spa Marvel direct. And by the way, that's not the reason I endorse Spa Marvel. I endorse it and I put it on my site because I use it, love it, and trust it. I'm working right now to try and get Aqua Finesse on there. Anyways, that's Chris Wheatley from Hot Tub University. That's my take on saltwater hot tubs and chemical reduction systems. Have a great day.